Live from New York, it's the show that has a special message from Chris Broussard. Quote, Wildes, feel free to mention that I'm missing because of jury duty. I don't want viewers thinking I bailed because my Cavs lost. Okay, well.
Nobody's thinking that, Brew. I don't know what the viewers are thinking. What your coworkers are thinking is maybe you should reply to emails more promptly and get this taken care of.
Here's the other thing about that.
What?
The fact that Brew thinks that you, the viewer, would see that he wasn't there and think, you know what? He bailed on his job because the Cavs lost game one. Means, because no audience member is thinking that. No. Means that he actually considered it.
Right.
And wants to dispel the notion.
It also makes me wonder about those days he's missed after bad Ravens losses.
Yeah.
I just thought he was sick.
No.
Yeah, maybe
I'm going to need proof from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
You threw up? Send me a JPEG. We're starting with Houston. We have another problem. Trademark. We're out of the playoffs. Buddy. Yeah, you, me, and Ime Udoka and all the Rockets. Buddy Hield scored 33. Steph had 19 in the second half to pull away from the Rockets in Game 7. I kind of love Draymond. I admit it. Were you surprised Golden State stole Game 7?
I wouldn't even characterize it as them stealing Game 7. They were the far better team in Game 7 after a really brutal performance in Game 6. I'm not surprised. I am disappointed. And it's not because so much that I was rooting against Golden State. I obviously would like to be right, and I had picked the Rockets in this series. You somehow are going to claim you were right, even though you were the Rockets fan all year.
But I was right. I said I was very nervous. I was nervous about the Rockets' offense. I was nervous about the depth of
all those
Warriors.
things that Brew and I all year long were saying you should be nervous about. Despite the fact that they were the 2 seed. And then, listen, but I picked them as well. I probably picked them with more confidence than you. And when they were down 3-1, I didn't say it was over. I thought that they had played the Warriors even, and it was the Şengün miss. So why I'm disappointed, because I think the Rockets, if the Rockets had pulled this off, coming back from not beating the Warriors, but coming back from 3-1 down the way they did after the devastating loss in Game 4, then going to San Francisco and winning Game 6 and dominating fashion in that fourth quarter, and then winning, it to me would have felt like the arrival of another, even if it's not for this year, contending team.
Yeah.
And instead, it feels like the Rockets took a step. We found out where their limitations are, and we know that for this team to actually contend, it's going to take some massive offseason changes. And the Warriors, you might be like, well, then you get to keep the Warriors. I do not look at this Warriors team as a contender at all.
Really?
Yeah, I look at this. I've seen this exact movie 2 years ago when they were playing an upstart team that took them 7, that in the Kings, and it took in that one an all-time Steph Curry game in Game 7, and it was exhausting, and Draymond was teetering throughout those playoffs as far as the physicality and keeping his emotions in check, and then they got clocked in round 2 by a far better team. And so Warrior fans who listen, I'm an easy and fair target because I picked against them in this series and have picked against them historically. I will be picking against them again because I do not view... I don't know how anyone can come out of this series, if you believed in the Warriors, with more confidence than you went going into this series for Golden State moving forward.
A few reasons, I'll be the Warriors guy for a second. One, Steph last night, first half, the Warriors are winning. So the fact that he had 3 points in the first half, he had no 2-pointers. It was 1 for 6 from 3, and the second half he came alive. So to me, and again, I don't think the Rockets were ready to play, but the fact that they were winning a Game 7 with Steph having a putrid first half showing that they could rely on Buddy Hield. They could rely on Draymond was making.
Hold on, the Rockets had 29 points with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Like if they were playing a functional offense, which the Rockets weren't yesterday, they wouldn't have been able to survive it. And
part of that is the defense, right?
No, yes, and the Warriors have a great defense. But last night, they did have Steph Curry. He just looked like Buddy Hield. And they did have Buddy Hield. He just looked like Steph Curry. Yeah. And that is the great thing and the tricky thing about Game 7s. We had the Shane Battier game, Game 7 after the Ray Allen game, when LeBron had 37 and 12 to ice the championship. Chris Bosh had 0 points. Dwayne Wade didn't do much. Shane Battier had 6 threes off the bench.
Yep.
Grant Williams, Game 7 against Milwaukee in round 2, the year they're defending their title. So whatever year that would be, I can't even remember this, 21 or 2020, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
That year, Grant Williams has 7 threes in that game, and then yesterday, Buddy Hield. If you look at his playoff career, and then last night, I mean it's unbelievable. And so like that is what happens, can happen in a Game 7. My bigger takeaways from this game were actually Rockets related.
Me too, unfortunately.
What were yours, since you're the Rockets guy?
Well, one. Remember when I was worried about the Rockets not passing the ball? Like, call me old school. Can we move the ball a little bit? To watch the juxtaposition of the Warriors offense and the Rockets offense just not moving. Just like, hey, Şengün, now it's your time. Hey, Jalen Green, now it's your. Hey, Tari Eason, you want to make something happen? Just the lack of offense, and Ime addressed it after the game that they need to get better. But here were fewest assists per game this season, including the playoffs. The Magic, who have a woeful offense and just live on defense. Rockets, Sixers are not good. Blazers are not good. Hornets are not good. The Wizards are not good. So it's just a flawed offense. You say, Wildes, they're 12th in offensive rating. Yeah, they force a lot of turnovers, and they were able to own the rebounds. So once that goes away, they kind of get exposed. Number 2, my guy, Şengün. 21-14-5, maybe the quietest 21-14-5 I've ever seen. Needs to take a step. He addressed it too. So I didn't feel good about Şengün. Do you want to rip me about Şengün?
No, I don't want to rip you. Listen.
Jalen Green. And then I have a thing on Jalen Green.
Well, go ahead. You finish off, and then I'll talk about all of them.
Jalen Green. This series, Game 2. Wow, 38 points. Josh, what was it? It was the biggest gap between someone's first playoff game and second playoff game, I think. It was like a 30-point difference. Then he had 38 points every other game. He had 9. Yesterday he was invisible to the point where I don't know what conversations you're having about Jalen Green in the offseason. Like this kind of like
the conversations you're having about Jalen Green in the offseason are conversations with other GMs where he is part of a package you're trading for a true scorer or a true star. Listen, I have never been a Jalen Green believer, and he felt to me like your ceiling is Zach LaVine, and I don't know that Zach LaVine is a winning player. That
would be nice, though.
No, you would, right, but it does not feel, this series, again, it's his first playoff series, but this series felt like you cannot trust him at all. It's now, in his last 10 games, 7 were single figures. 1 was 38, and the 2 double-figure games were like 11 and 12 points. So, like, that's a horrific closing push to the season, and then obviously the playoffs. Şengün concerned me. And I watched this series, and I'm like, okay, so the path for the Rockets probably is the way you win the championship is Şengün is your 3rd best player.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Well, I think you're going to say 2nd best, but I'm telling you the way they win the championship is they acquire someone awesome, and Amen takes a leap he's going to take.
Oh,
And
Sure.
right. And
I mean, yeah, if you want to have like an amazing team, yeah.
Well, that's how you win the championship.
Plus, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, Porzingis plus, I would take.
Yeah, but that's how you win the championship. Like that's what I'm talking about. And by the way, that's what it probably takes. And I was disappointed in how I understood that maybe early in the series, the moment and Draymond and the playoffs and all of it, but the fact that in Game 7 as well, he just wanted nothing to do with anything Draymond Green related, to me was disappointing. And so, listen, I think Amen is going to be, if he can just get a passable jump shot, he's going to be a superstar. He's too good at everything else not to be, and his instincts, athleticism, all of that. And they have a lot of assets. But I'm bummed for Houston, and I think this is fool's gold for Golden State. And I think Draymond celebrating a round 1 victory over a team he did not take seriously coming into the series was very telling of where he knows that team is compared to where the team was supposed to be when he guaranteed they were winning the championship after getting Jimmy Butler.
That's an interesting take. Yeah. You're surviving a Game 7.
That's the reaction we would have expected from the Rockets had they won that game.
Yeah, right down to the surprise.
Exactly right.
Makes sense. Meanwhile, in Denver, James Harden disappeared. 8 shots. Made 2 of them. He finished with 7 points. We'd usually throw to sound here of Harden explaining the Game 7 loss. Maybe he'd wear sunglasses. But he bailed on media availability, so we've got nothing. What'd you learn about Harden?
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, listen, shout out, the Kawhi Leonard PR continues to be some of the best PR in the world, which is, I mean, for years I've had to listen to, man, what if they just got a healthy Kawhi for a playoff run? Well, the what if is you lose in 7, evidently, in round 1. And he was fine, but he's their best player, and he's the guy who needed to step up, and he was just fine. But the story is, of course, one that we're now going on the 15th season of, which is James Harden postseason resume unlike any player we've ever seen. He is inarguably, the biggest choker in modern sports history. And I know that's something that feels like so hot takey, and Gianna, don't caption that because it feels almost too clickbaity.
Yeah.
But it's just true. If choking exists in sports, it is exemplified by his full resume. By the way, and you sometimes don't like when I do this, but you can go back to Arizona State and watch the NCAA tournament. Like, sometimes it's just who you are. And I gave some of these numbers last week, and people couldn't believe them because I just said them. And so for some reason, people believe it more if I say it with a graphic that we make.
Graphic hammers.
So listen, career playoff, I picked the 4 guys of the era. Career playoff games, under 4 field goals made. Harden's got 35. LeBron's got 5, Steph's got 3, KD's got 2. What about career playoff games under 5 field goals made? Harden's got 55, Bron's got 9, Steph 8, KD 4. What about career playoff games with as many turnovers as made baskets or more turnovers? Harden's got 42, Bron's got 17, Steph 13, KD 7. These are the 4 guys of the era. Kawhi was supposed to be a part of that, but Kawhi's career, these are the 4 best players of this era. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. And I want you to go because then I'm going to go through the full autopsy of it. But it's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's not Karl Malone, guys. Karl Malone, he dropped somewhat in the postseason from historic regular season averages and had a few really tough moments, most notably against Michael Jordan in 1 game.
Sure.
And it's not just the Michael Jordan 1 game. He was not a great, reliable postseason performer. But he was not all of a sudden putting up 2 for 11s with regularity.
It's the 2 for 8 that kills me. So, and then we had the highlights. Hobbs, if you can run that again, but I don't have them in order. I didn't ask for them. He had one front rim jump shot that was short that looked like a normal play. The next 2 misses, he fell down. The next 3 shots from the second half into 2 shots in the third quarter were 2 air balls and a stripped air ball that ends, it looks like a foul, but still. He went a half without the ball touching the rim. Yeah. So there's a point where I'm disappointed that a guy who can do it.
He can't do it.
But I don't know why his game, like if you watch just the Harden plays, he doesn't look like, this sounds almost meaner what you're about to say. These 6 misses, it doesn't look like you necessarily belong in the NBA. That's how you go from an MVP candidate, not first team, but all NBA to like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
You look totally out of sorts, like you were just thrown into your first game and you're very, very nervous and you're falling down and he has a floater in the third quarter. It's a floater air ball.
Yeah. That was such a thing. It was like, wait, was that supposed to be an alley-oop?
Because then it hit did it actually go in?
Right, all right. But here's the thing. Can I do you have your iced mocha latte ready? You have plenty, because you can sit back and have a drink. It's going to be a minute.
Okay, here we go. I do. It's not.
2012.
Oh, my gosh.
I told you, when you do that, the audience takes its cues from you. They think this is about to be boring instead of awesome.
Well, when you start with something...
I warned everyone. I'm giving this might be Harden's the last relevant postseason time we have from James Harden.
But if you're 18 years old and watching this, remember when you were 6?
Right. Learn something. Just give me more than a minute. Okay?
We'll be back in 2 minutes.
2012 NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Back-to-back 2 for 10s. 2013, facing elimination, his first year with the Rockets against OKC. 4 for 12, 10 turnovers. 2015, round 2 against the Clippers and Doc Rivers. Game 6, facing elimination. He gets benched. They go after going 5 for 20, and they execute that comeback without him. The Josh Smith game. Those Western Conference Finals, down 0-2 to Golden State. 3 for 16 and lose by 35 points. Game 5, 2 for 11 with 12 turnovers. The pièce de résistance of the whole career. Round 2 against the Spurs. Game 2, he's 3 for 17, but then Game 6, if you remember, Kawhi and Tony Parker are both out. Harden is playing. He goes 2 for 11, and they lose by 39 points. It was so bad because at the time, I still defended Harden. I said, I think he had an undiagnosed concussion from the previous.
That actually might have been true.
It was, okay, maybe. It was so bad. 8 years ago, we were like, I think he got hit on the head. The next year, up 3-2 on the Warriors in Game 6 and 7. He has 14 turnovers and 6 of 25 from 3. In 2020, against OKC in round 1, Game 7, he goes 4 for 15. They win. He has the block at the end. And then round 2, down 2-1 against the Lakers, he has another 2 for 11 game. And then quickly with the Sixers, in 2022 against Miami, he's 4 for 9. In the deciding game in Game 6. No, but only 9 shots. In 2023 against Boston, up 3-2. He's 4 for 16. And then in Game 7, 3 for 11, 10 turnovers in those games. Last year with the Clippers, tied 1 apiece. He's 2 for 12, or tied two games apiece. He's 2 for 12 and 5 for 16. And then yesterday, it is chapter and verse unlike anything we've seen in sports history.
So do you think it's solvable?
Solvable?
Well,
he's your age.
I just don't want... Here, I'm trying to put a glass half full. This is a try. Let me try. Glass half full. If Steve Ballmer wants to spend all this money on flying fans out and whatever AI, whatever you're doing in the stadium, you're throwing a lot of money at the team. The number one thing you need to figure out, whether it's from some sports psychologist, is can you get Harden and Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons, you're including in this?
Why not,
buddy?
If I'm a sports psychologist and I'm talking to Harden, like, do you want me to talk to Ben Simmons too? We just need to unlock
Ted Lasso, man. They got
unlock something. There's some blockage there that needs to be overcome. I just can't go another year where it's like, I don't know. What do you think about the Clippers? I can't do it.
That's fine. Then do what I've done, which is say, okay, they are a team that is capped. And by the way, let me try to put a different type of positive spin on it.
Sure.
And this is not a unique thought. I think this is actually probably from, like the Joker and Batman, to be honest.
Oh.
But we need James Harden's to appreciate the opposite. If there weren't guys who the moment just crushed them, then it would be less impressive.
It doesn't need to be
for the
James
guys
Harden all the time.
But listen, there has to be someone in the league who we know is great, who we know is an all-timer, who has all the accolades, who has the resume of one of the greatest players of his or any era. And despite all of that, when the chips are down, crumbles. Because that makes it even more impressive for the guys who are the opposite of that. And so I don't feel James Harden's made $300 million from Adidas, $400 million from the league. He didn't give more than half of that away. And so he's fine. And he seems at peace.
Like there's just I don't know. Like bailing on media availability, like when's he gonna pop up again to like announce another shoe?
I don't know, man. He's had a lot of opportunities to take accountability for things, and he seems to be a blame others type of guy anyway, and a bail on things. So it's just fine. Like it's just not surprising. You want to root for everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.